Good evening and welcome to the Monday, October 24th Administration Public Works meeting. My name is Alderman Braithwaite and we have a quorum. Is there approval for the October 10th, 2016 minutes? It's been moved. Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any corrections or edits? Seeing none, all those that are in favor of passing the October 10th, 2016 minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Items for consideration. Alderman Miller, would you like to take item A1?
Move approval of the payroll through October 3rd, 2016 in the amount of $2,779,982.54.
Second.
Do you want to go ahead and move item A2 as well, and then we'll...
Sure. Also move to approve the City of Evanston bills through October 25th, 2016 in the amount of $3,400,759.33.
Thank you. Alderman Rainey, did you have a question or comment?
Since I didn't read these before I got here because
Sure.
I didn't see that they had been sent, tell me about aldermen being bonded. The question I asked was the city clerk, finance director is insured, city clerk and mayor, and I asked about aldermen. We're just hanging out there.
Mr. Lyons, before you, can I just get a second for discussion? Somebody,
Okay.
please. It's been
Second.
properly moved and seconded. Thank you for this. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. The response from Attorney Farrar was to note under code who has to have a bond. Everyone else is covered under our errors and omissions and directors and officers, and that's a $2 million coverage that last time, I'll go back and check, per my memory, that was a coverage level that is extended to all of our boards and commissions. We do have additional coverage that both police and fire pension boards have taken on themselves because of the high level of investments that they're dealing with. But our boards are covered under our liability insurance that we purchase each year.
So why are the mayor and city clerk insured extra?
They're called out specifically in statute. And so that is, in the case of the treasurer, because of their investment duties, the mayor, sometimes in many places, they were the chief executive officer and still elected. But other than that, I can go back and do a little bit of research on the history side as to why.
No, but because we certainly do vote on certain things that the mayor does not, we can get us in a lot more trouble than she can.
Now, how do I respond to that?
You don't. You don't.
All right. Well, I'm glad she's well taken care of. All right. Also, when did we build the Greenwood bathrooms? I mean, there's an asbestos issue here.
Okay.
And I mean, why is there asbestos there?
Good evening, members of the committee and the Deputy City Manager Storley. Bob Dornicker, Assistant Director of Parks and Recreation. To answer your question, Alderman, those buildings at the lakefront were built in the 50s. They were then renovated, I believe, in the 1970s slightly. So this is the next time that they're being renovated.
So Greenwood hasn't been touched? I mean, there was no abatement since the 50s?
Have you been there recently?
No, I wouldn't go in there, no.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, okay. Well, then I'm certainly glad it's getting done. And the question, you know, I asked about the fundraising consulting services at Robert Crown. I'm going to have to go back and look at my question, but I'm surprised I said, please explain. I'm always interested in an update on the Robert Crown fundraising progress. So I know that this is the monthly bill for fundraising.
Right.
I'd like to know, how are we doing?
Good evening again. We are doing better than the last report. It was going to be scheduled for November for a council update, but I don't have to wait for that. I will send out what is our biweekly fundraising report to the council.
Thank you. Would you like more frequency on that, Alderman Rainey?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Also,
Lyons.
my question on the library, capital improvement budget in the amount of $257,300 on our financial report. How do we distinguish that from the library budget? This is for North Branch Mechanical Systems.
Good evening, committee. Paul Gottschalk, the Assistant Library Director.
Hi, Paul.
Hi. This project is within the city's capital improvement program, but the debt is paid by the library. It's funded by library debt service.
So you send us over a check? I mean, how does that work?
We do. It's an interfund transfer.
Okay.
This was the capital, wasn't it?
This is capital. That's right.
So I've got a slightly different. Alderman Rainey, in 2016, we did not have a separate library capital projects fund. For 2017, we're proposing one so that those would then be paid directly out of a library capital projects fund. So this year, it was still inside the capital improvements fund inside the capital improvements plan. Next year, they'll have their own fund, like the water fund, still in the CIP, but so then we will track them all independently.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Are there any additional questions? All right, item A1 and A2 have been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay. Alderman Rainey, would you like to take item 3.1, please?
Thank you, Alderman Braithwaite. This item, A 3.1, is a purchase of a replacement vehicle from Curry Motors in the amount of $20,224. It replaces a vehicle that was totaled on September 17, 2016. And there is an insurance claim filed for the replacement cost with USAA Insurance Group, holder of the striking vehicle policy. Payment for the new vehicle will be forthcoming with an approximate total value of $20,091.50. And the striking vehicle was ticketed and admitted guilt. So, move approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions?
I'm assuming, that, according to the police report, nobody was hurt. I hope. Doesn't appear to be.
Do you have the chief?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, that is correct. Nobody was injured in the accident.
Amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. Item 3.1 is for action. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right. Alderman Holmes, will you please take item 3.2?
Yes, sir. Purchase of Cisco hardware and software from Heartland Business Centers and rental of equipment from Zetcentrix IT. Staff recommends that the city authorize the purchase of Cisco networking equipment and software from Heartland Business Center in the amount of $40,887.60, and the rental of networking hardware from Centrix IT in the amount of $5,500 to complete the core networking replacement project. The total amount of this project is $46,387.60. Move approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 3.3, Alderman Nguyen.
Yes, item 3.3 is The staff recommends that the City Council authorize the city manager to execute change order number 1 to the contract for design and architecture services for the proposed Howard Street Theater with Ross Barney's Architects in the amount of $12,505. This will increase the total contract amount from the original contract price of $40,000 to $52,505. Funding for this work will be from the Howard Ridge TIF District, which has $1 million budgeted for the amended 2016 budget for this project.
It's been moved and seconded. Alderman Miller?
I don't know who can speak to this. Is it Erica or Marty? So the memo said that based on the cost estimate, there will have a reduced cost for the theater, proposed cost, versus what was proposed for Straw Dog. What is the potential reduced cost?
Good evening, members of the committee. The reduced cost is between 1.4 and 1.7 million dollars, of which 200,000 is proposed to be paid by the new theater group. So that was scheduled for the Economic Development Committee Wednesday night. That meeting has been canceled, so it will move to November 16th. So we'll be having a detailed discussion with Theo Ubekwe coming in to meet the committee and talk about the project itself. And for a frame of reference, the previous project was in excess of $5 million, and that's why some of the work originally for the architectural work before was higher. So we basically paid this change order for a downsize, to get a good look at what a downsize cost estimate would be.
And then there's mention also of a memorandum of understanding in the packet.
Yes.
That wasn't provided as well. So I'm wondering what's we had a variety of background information on the previous applicant, Straw Dog, in terms of their fundraising capabilities, et cetera. So I would love to see any and all information regarding that.
At the meeting, we will have the MOU draft. We have been working on a lease document already, and we are also working on pro forma information from Theo. Everyone stumbles over the Ubekwe pronunciation, but we will have that information. Ubekwe. See, I was stumbling over it. So the information will be in the economic development packet, but this was something we needed to have so that both parties could then say it's a go, that they're comfortable with how much they can raise, we're comfortable with how much the expense will be, and that the TIF can handle the expenses.
And there's also mention of design concepts as well. See, because if this is waiting until the next month, the next economic development, could you send that out to us in advance, anything and everything you have on this?
As soon as possible. And while we would like to move quickly on this project, Theo will take time to raise their funds, and we will want to be deliberate in our final design as well. So we really want to get moving with getting the MOU, but then there is funds to be raised so that they can come up with their dollars at the same time that we finish the build out.
And I'd like to be deliberate in my due diligence. So I'd like to see everything before we start proceeding, towards down this path.
And we will need to come back to you with a selection of an architect before we can go further with the design. So that is something that would have to come back to council as we go forward. So we're not saying that we're going on with Ross Barney specifically. They are going to have to compete for the next phase.
So can you explain the competition process, what you foresee, timelines, everything of that sort, so the public knows?
We will be doing after the approval at Economic Development, we will move
in
forward.
November, right?
Yes.
You're saying? Okay.
Then we will move out for request for proposal for architectural services so we can have a final estimate on designs, because this is a concept design estimate that you have in the packet that was included. So it'll be November 16th before we even start our next step. And I understand clearly that you would like to make sure you see as much of the pro forma information, ability to raise funds, and our cost estimates for the project. And as noted in the packet, we have it budgeted at $1 million for 17, and then in the note it does say that it would then be the additional $500,000 in 2018. The way that Howard Ridge is set up, the TIF, we would be doing some debt financing for this as 415 Howard, that payment to that developer starts to fall off over the next few years. We have the ability to have debt covered completely out of the TIF.
And what's some?
In what sum?
What is some? It's some debt financing.
All of it. I'm sorry. So to cover the $1.5 million for the project, the TIF has anywhere plus or minus $1 million, $6 million in projected future revenue. So
I'm sorry, when you said there's going to be some debt service to finance this as well, that's what I'm saying. You know, in between the...
It would be financed by debt because we would not have the tax increment payments coming in to meet it on a pay-as-you-go.
Okay.
Sorry,
but there's remaining funds within the TIF to actually pay for that debt, you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry for being unclear.
Thank you. Alderman Rainey?
Oh, this is a cart before the horse, horse before the cart situation. No theater can go out and announce a capital campaign for something that isn't there. And so in order for them to announce a capital campaign, there has to be something available for them to campaign for. And one of the ways we're looking at this is, you know, they have to raise all of the money, and this is how it's been described. They have to raise all of the money for everything. When you pick up this theater and turn it upside down, everything that falls to the ground, they have to raise the money for. Lights, furniture, fixtures, everything is their responsibility. And so until we have this design and the layout and the architecture and all of that, they don't know what it is that they have to put in there. But this is a totally different concept than, you know, stadium seating and that kind of thing, because this is a cabaret. This is a dinner theater concept. And they've been that for 20 plus years, almost 30 years at their current location. And so it's a much more reasonable, in fact, we had the $5+ million concept with the 2 buildings. We had a previous concept, $2+ million. This is really just really an exciting, perfect concept, and it's a reasonably priced one. And the good news is, as far as Carol Ross Barney's group is concerned, they've already done all this design work and layout and measurements and et cetera from a previous iteration of this project. So they don't have to redo all those drawings. They've already done them. So that's good news. And furthermore, if they do go forward, the value engineering is going to be very important here, because Theo has on board a designer who can take away from the need for a lot of these expert subcontractors. We're not going to need a lot of the lighting people and the sound people, et cetera, because this person is so skilled. Barney suggests that we just work with that person as opposed to hiring these very expensive subcontractors. So it's just a win-win all around. So, anyway.
Alderman Miller.
But I want to see all this information too, and hopefully, you know, we'll get it way before the 16th of November.
Thank you, Alderman Rainey. Alderman Miller.
And my problem is with the process of this as well. It seems like most of this is already complete, and yet it's not before us. And we're beginning to go down this path and spending money and moving in this direction, and we haven't approved it, and we haven't gotten all the information we need to make this decision in a properly informed manner. So, I'm happy to see a reduction in price at the theater, but I still want to see enough information.
Been working on it for 3 years.
Well, no, but it's a new group.
It goes through economic development. It's not a new group. It's a group that we decided on through the focus group.
But I haven't seen any of the background on this group, their financial capabilities to do this. I haven't seen, if we're talking about it, seems like it's already done. The change order is already finished. It's out there somewhere. We have a memorandum of understanding for this group. We have not, none of this has been presented to us so far.
It's going to be presented.
I know, but I'm working on this item tonight.
No, you're working only on the architect tonight. That's all you're working on.
Correct. That's right. And I have no idea if we're going to, so right now we're working on a change order to downsize the theater in a way that this new group would feel comfortable with. We don't know what their capabilities are for fundraising. We don't know the projected cost on this. We don't know a variety of things, but we're already moving in this direction.
Alderman Miller, we have Mr. Lyons wanting to.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'll work on my clarity, especially since I have a much longer presentation later. This change order, the work has already been done. We do this with capital projects, and we try not to make a habit of it, but in order to keep the project moving, the change order was for the work to determine the $1.5 million. We do not have a memorandum of understanding yet. We have a draft that we would be bringing for the committee to review, but the staff cannot approve a memorandum of understanding. So that is for the 16th. So you please rest assured we will get all of the detail for the 16th and take all the questions for a second round of detail as requested by the Economic Development Committee.
Okay, seeing more questions or...
Just to remind the committee, we're talking about a $12,505 change order. And
Okay.
that's, if people feel uncomfortable, they should vote against it.
Okay.
I would encourage people to support it so that we can move on to the next step. I think we finally have this figured out.
Thank you for your point of information. All those in favor of, it's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of passing item 3.3, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. Motion carries. Alderman Miller, will you please read item 3.4?
Sure. This is move approval of a construction engineering services contract with Christopher B. Burke Engineering for Sheridan Road, Chicago Avenue project. It's in a not to exceed amount of $980,000.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any questions? Comments? All those in favor of passing item 3.4, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Alderman Rainey, item A4.
This is Resolution 68R16, Local Public Agency Agreement for Federal Participation with IDOT to fund the Sheridan Road, Chicago Avenue project. This is an agreement. Execution of the agreement will allow Evanston to receive $1,992,400 in Illinois Transportation Enhancement Grant funding of $1,700,000 in Illinois Jurisdiction Transfer Funds and obligate us to pay IDOT the local share cost of the project totaling $9,492,514 for construction and $980,000 for engineering. By the completion of the project, the total proposed funding for this project totals $13,627,400, which is $442,486 over the estimated cost of the project. A variety of sources are being used for this project, and they're in our packet.
All right, thank you.
And I am sure that, is there a second?
Second.
I'd just like to comment. I am sure that each and every one of us could pass a detailed exam on all of the details of this project.
Probably.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of passing item A4, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Holmes, item A5.
Resolution 63-R-16, lease agreement with the United States Postal Service for parking in the city parking garage at 1800 Maple Avenue. Staff recommends that we adopt this resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a lease renewal with the United States Postal Services for the parking of their vehicles in the Maple Avenue South Park. Projected total revenue for this period of 11/1/2016 through 10/31/2018 is $121,440. Move approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Alderman Rainey?
I'm sure I know the answer to this, but is there anybody here from the post office?
I don't see any representatives.
That's too bad, because I just wanted to express my deep displeasure at their service, especially in my ward.
Okay.
And I'm glad we can help them out parking their trucks, but the service is just deteriorating beyond belief. And despite the fact that we have the name and email and contact information of the head of the regional postal service,
Right.
we are not able to get any response from our efforts to communicate with that person.
Is there anyone here who can at least answer the timeline for the naming? We're getting ready to rename it, right? Well, maybe we'll
Think
address
that's
that.
going to help with the service?
I think it might be an opportunity to engage them, and that may be something that we can follow up with our U.S. Congresswoman as an aside note.
Wait, maybe.
She's been very helpful in connecting us, but they don't respond.
Well, let's make sure we invite him to the renaming, and then
That may be
then
an
you've got him, man.
opportunity.
And the service within the main post office, I mean, you can stand there for hours.
But I'm talking about
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm saying it's all over. It's not just the delivery.
Yeah,
South Branch isn't much better.
noted, noted. All those in favor of passing item A5, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item A6, Alderman Nguyen.
Yes, this is, staff recommends the city council adopt Resolution Resolution 67R16, authorizing the city to execute a settlement agreement in Sean Rattray versus City of Evanston et al. The funding source for the settlement will be from the insurance fund. This is for action. I move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Alderman Miller, A7.
Move to introduce ordinance 110-0-16, which is an ordinance removing the requirements for related to motor vehicle repair shops and price stating for retail establishments. These are current regulations that we're not performing as a city anymore.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Alderman Rainey?
I don't get this.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same
Somebody
thing.
explain what
What we're
this
doing
is.
here? Yeah.
Good evening, Michelle Mason Cup, Deputy City Attorney. These are just two sections of the code that the city staff has no longer performs these functions.
What are they?
Basically, at Target or at Jewel, there are like a scale that sits at the register. City staff no longer goes out and monitors whether or not the scale is appropriate. They get monitored, but that's just not a function we fulfill anymore. And the auto repair shop, they can be licensed under the general business license, and there isn't a separate license that's needed. That's in essence what we're doing here. None of these are needed anymore. We're just cleaning up the code.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, please.
Do
Alderman
we,
Rainey.
do we do any monitoring of whether or not prices are on, or whether there's, the scanner is working? Do we do any of that?
That I don't know, but I can come back to you with an answer. I can email you separately. I can look into it.
And this wouldn't cover any of that, right? No.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any? Yeah, that's just for introduction. Alderman Rainey, item A8.
This is ordinance 25016. We're being asked to recommend amending the city code, section 725, regulating personal wireless communication facilities in the public right-of-way. This has to do with adopting a supplemental permit application specific to small cell towers, delineating the city's requirements as well as addressing issues and minimizing the risk of litigation specific to small cell towers. Further, implementing Ordinance 125-016 will ensure that the city treats all providers equally as required under the state and federal law. This is for introduction. Interestingly, in the packet, there are pictures of what these small cell towers look like.
Thank you, Alderman Rainey. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Questions, comments? I have a question for staff, just in terms of, are we going to see any additional fees, and what can we expect for improved services?
Good evening, Michelle Mason Cup again. Do you mean in terms of improved services that the cell phones will just, your text messages will come a little quicker? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Essentially, yes, because there'll be a closer proximity to the range of your cell phone depending on the provider. So if AT&T is applying for the small cell tower, if you have that as a provider, this will benefit you, Verizon,
Okay.
et cetera.
And they determine where they want to plant them?
Yes, and there are always, this ordinance speaks to city utility poles and things like that.
Got it. Thank you. Alderman Rainey?
One of the comments in the packet was that something about screening. How are you going to screen something at the top of the pole?
Well, if it's not, is Gary Gertis here? Gary, can I rely on you for a second? Gary is implementing this for the city, so hopefully he can answer this question.
Good evening, Gary Gertis, Building and Inspection Service Division Manager. The screening would only be if the equipment is located at surface, on the ground.
Well, I didn't see any pictures of that.
It's part of the ordinance. Most of the antennas are going to be co-located typically on a Commonwealth Edison pole, and they would be elevated, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think the attempts to screen the AT&T boxes, remember when those came in? I think the attempts to screen are worse than the boxes. I don't know if anybody has noted that. The green, the kind of pale green boxes, people have put up, we put up at our expense,
Yep.
or somebody's expense, those bushes and things. They look horrible. The boxes look better.
For the most part, that section will not be applicable here. Most of the installations, again, will be co-located on a ComEd pole.
Yeah, on a pole. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no more lights, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item A9.
Introducing ordinance 140-0-16, amending Title 10, Chapter 11, traffic schedules of the City Code, removing parking meters in various locations throughout the city of Evanston. The Transportation and Parking Committee and staff recommend that the City Council adopt Ordinance 140-0-16, reallocating or removing parking meters in designated areas of the city. And I think there's no list here. Hold on one second. I want to see if there's anything else I should read. City staff recommends that the following, conversions be adopted with respects to meters in their location removal or relocations rather, I'm sorry. There's not a list for me to read. It's in the packet. It's in the packet, but it's not on here.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any lights, any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Nguyen.
Yes, staff recommends to the City Council that we adopt Ordinance 130-016, reducing the speed limit on Sheridan Road from 30 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour. This will reduce the speed limit on Burnham Place as well as Sheridan Road. I move in introduction.
Second.
Second. It's been properly moved and seconded. Any comments, questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item A11, Alderman Miller.
Move to suspend the rules for introduction and action. This is ordinance 129-016, which is decreasing the number of Class D liquor licenses for Red Robin Express.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
There's a
I'm sorry.
request that it be suspended.
Yeah, he made that in his motion, Alderman Rainey. Thank you. Okay. Alderman Rainey, item A12.
Ordinance 131-016, increasing the number of Class D liquor licenses for Asian Cajun 2, that's TOO. It's for introduction, and it increases the number of D licenses from 54 to 55. They are located at 1322 Chicago Avenue.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any questions, comments?
They here?
Are they here?
Here? Oh.
Okay. All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item A13, Alderman Holmes.
Move to introduce ordinance 132-0-16, increasing the number of Class T liquor license for the caterist from 2 to 3, and permits issuance of a Class T license to Rent-A-Chef doing business as a caterist located at 940 Pittner Avenue, Suite 5.
Authorize on the premise where it's served. Okay. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Nguyen, A14.
Yes. This is for introduction. The local liquor commissioner recommends the city council adopt ordinance 133-016, amending the city code subsection 3-4-6-P-4 to increase the number of authorized Class P4 liquor licenses from 0 to 1 and permit issuance of a Class P4 license to North Shore Cider Company, doing business as North Shore Cider, located at 707 Howard Street.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Alderman Rainey.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, I attended the Liquor Commission hearing, and we discussed, and I indicated that I would move for suspension of the rules and action tonight.
On this one,
And
okay.
No one had any problems with that at the meeting. And I thought it would be on here, but it wasn't.
Let's air, okay.
So I would like to do that.
Okay, Alderman Nguyen, would you like to amend your motion,
Yes,
please?
I'll amend my motion to include suspension of the rules.
Okay, and that's on item A14. Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And Alderman Rainey, you'll
Yes.
make the, thank you. Item A15, Alderman Miller.
Move to suspend the rules for introduction and action of ordinance 134-016, which is increase the number of Class U liquor licenses from 0 to 1 for Dance Center Evanston, doing business as Studio 5.
Okay, it's been
Second.
moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any comments? I guess I'll say something quick. Is Bea out there paying attention? Just a real quick.
She's out there.
She's probably doing something else. Yeah, we're talking about. You shout out to the folks at Dance Center Evanston. They've done an incredible job over the years rehabbing that location. I'm really, really excited about what the building is going to bring. I mean, not only are they a phenomenal teaching institution for many young ladies in the North Shore, but now they're actually going to be doing more performing arts, and I'm glad to see that they actually went out and decided to get a liquor license. So my only encouragement that goes along with that is hopefully you will continue to shop local, and there may be some opportunities for local vendors to provide food during your performances.
And liquor.
And liquor. Yeah, definitely liquor. All right. Are there any other comments, questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Rainey, are you on A16?
Yes, I am.
Yep.
A16 is ordinance 135-016, increasing the number of Class D licenses for Sam's Chicken and Ribs. This will increase the number of authorized D licenses from 55 to 56 and permit the issuance to TMC Foods, doing business as Sam's Chicken and Ribs at 1639 Orrington Avenue. This is for introduction.
All right.
Second.
Yeah, sure. Come on up. It's been moved and second. I think we have the owner. Do you mind just telling us your name and share whatever you'd like?
So my name is Madhukar Talari. Yeah, just try to move to Chicago.
Okay.
With a different business, I'm already doing that in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
I was in Skokie too, Try to open the new place, new area, Simple things, sir.
Okay. Man, a few words. Welcome to Evanston.
Thank you, sir.
Any other comments? Questions for our speaker? So are you open now?
Not yet. I'm waiting for the liquor license.
Okay. So you're waiting for the liquor license. That's the only thing that's holding you back right now?
Yeah.
Does anyone have an issue with,
Does he have a permit?
oh, well, so you've already been, does he have a permit for?
I mean, for opening, the, occupancy permit? health
Go ahead and
department?
speak into your mic, Alderman Rainey.
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
just saying we should.
So do you have everything in place with the exception license? So you've gone through the hearings, you have your insurance, you're just waiting for the actual license to
Then
open?
health department, they come and inspect again one more time.
Okay, I'm sure that they can get that scheduled. Who read this? Alderman Rainey, would you like to amend and suspend the rules?
Okay. What
Any-
about the state license? Does that come first?
I mean, you can,
Okay. Well, I mean, we can give it to him.
yeah, we
can't
can give it
open
to him and
yeah.
then he can wait, so.
Right,
All
right,
done
right.
anyway.
We'll
All right, I'll move to suspend the rules and move for action tonight.
Perfect. It's been properly moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So hopefully this will expedite it up a
Thanks.
couple of weeks. You're welcome. Thank you for coming and welcome.
Thanks.
All right. Last couple of items, Alderman Holmes.
A17, introducing ordinance 136-0-16, increasing the number of Class P-3 liquor licenses for Metro Wine, which is located at 600 Main Street. This will increase the license from 0 to 1 and permit issuance of a P-3 license to VSWC LLC, doing business as Meta
Second.
Wine. Meta.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Alderman Miller?
So just for clarification, this is in the Main Street building, right? The Main Street Metro building, is that correct? I'm looking at the address and that's what came up. Is it?
Yes, that's
So
correct.
it's in the bottom floor of it, or
I actually think it's.
it's the old Piccolo Theater?
Paul was here.
Yeah,
Do you have someone?
please.
Oh, that's right. Wow. We have the owner. Welcome.
That's correct. It's in the Main Street Metro Station, which the Piccolo Theater is vacating. On the street level is where we'll conduct our primary operation.
You're taking both levels, though, or taking over Fort Piccolo as well, or on the top
Yes,
two?
we
So
are, yes.
Just curious. So you'll do sales on both floors? I'm wondering, or you're doing some manufacturing as well?
Maybe explain your operations.
Right.
Sure. We're going to be doing. We're going to be manufacturing manufacturing wine in kegs for wholesale in a winery. It's sort of a light manufacturing winery operation on the first floor, which will also have a tasting room at street level where we're serving wine in the tasting room for on-premise consumption, as well as sort of in growler formats for off-premise consumption.
the top floor? Are you doing anything, or is that just going to be office space? Or
Right now, we're going to be probably subletting it to a cafe operator in the train waiting room, if you're familiar with the space. Actually, the gentleman who runs the Davis Street Cafe, who's an Evanstonian. And then the space that's currently being used for the theater, we're probably going to use as an event space for the time being. Eventually, we may look to integrate the 2 floors for the winery tasting room in general. We're currently working through the lease with Union Pacific Railroad and we actually came up with a risk mitigation approach that no means of egress will be available or entrance will be available at the track level and the wine tasting room. So all egress will happen at the street level, and in order to get to the track, you'd have to walk around and go up the stairs or up the ramp.
Thanks.
Okay. Alderman Rainey.
So you're going to make wine, not beer, right?
It's a wine operation, correct? We are not growing grapes, crushing fruit, fermenting juice. We're buying finished wine from the great wine regions of the world in bulk volumes, and then repackaging it in environmentally friendly packaging formats for wholesale and retail customers. Making wine, there's a lot of aspects of that process. Many wineries actually don't make wine in the way that you might assume, but actually will also make wine by the virtue of blending it, making some amendments to the wine to adjust its sensory characteristics. And that's what we're doing. So we will unlikely be making.
Are you messing with the wine? Are you putting anything in it?
Nothing.
No.
Only other wines.
We're taking it from one container to another.
What we'll do is we'll receive it and we'll filter it so that it's stabilized to be put into another container, and that just removes some of the yeast that can develop in its transit, which could potentially cause re-fermentation.
I don't know anything about making wine. I just know about licenses. And I was wondering why you're not a P4. Because we have a P4 winemaking license, and you're a P3. And it seems to me if you're not fermenting, but
So he isn't manufacturing, right? He's just
making wine, not making
exchanging.
wine, but he's not just.
No, he's not even mixing.
Wait, we have a wine
he is
expert
mixing.
here. So,
Okay.
Wait, could we find
I'm
out
sorry,
the
one question.
nuances
Yeah.
between?
I could if I may address that. We may end up.
We have a winemaker right behind you. You're not making wine.
No, well, I'm making cider.
You're making cider, which is the wine process.
Well, and the difference between
If you're going to speak, come to the mic, please, to address the question.
My name is Chris Collins. I'm with North Shore Cider.
And he's a
Okay.
P4 and he's a P3.
And
That's a-
the difference between the two licenses, are that P3 is service on premise for consumption on premise, where P4 is consumption off premise.
There you have it.
And if I may, just numerically, the P3 license was created prior to the P4 license, which was suited to my business model, specifically the P3.
But you're just taking wine in large containers and putting it in
Repackaging.
repackaging.
Yeah, in the future, we may do fermentation of different fruit wines, but initially we're going to be taking wine, varietal specific, and then repackaging it, but also enabling customers to create proprietary blends, whether it's a wholesale customer or restaurant that wants to create a wine that's suited to its menu or concept or target customer base, or a retail customer who wants to come in and experiment with wine blending, which is all part of the winemaking process.
Interesting. I mean, that's
Very
really
interesting.
Well, we hope to see you there.
Yeah.
So you could take a Cabernet and a Pinot and mix them up and
You wouldn't want to do that. Maybe a Cabernet and a Merlot.
Merlot.
You wouldn't want to touch Pinot Noir. The Burgundians would never like that.
Yeah.
But you would. I would never do that. But I'm just saying that you would mix.
Exactly. It's a lot of folks don't know that some of the wines that we're familiar with, Bordeaux, Côte d'Aron, Chianti, Super Tuscan, they're all wine blends. They're not single grapes. So we give some education on what constitutes those blends, why they're constituted that way, and then also that there are no rules and you can blend anything you want as long as it tastes good at the end of the day. And then come to me with the formula that you've recorded diligently on the butcher paper spread out before you with graduated cylinders, et cetera. And then I can manufacture that in a bottle, and we'll have a label printer that you can actually put a label on for your own wine, and you become a winemaker.
So will you have seating?
Yes.
Will you have seating?
Yes.
And what are you going to do for food?
Per the license class, we need to offer at least 2 hot food items. And so we'll have simple bruschetta, charcuterie, cheeses, olives, light finger food that go great with wine.
Great. And work with local vendors, of course.
Absolutely.
All right. Just checking.
So, Ann, you can develop your own personal Alderman Rainey house
I've hardly
wine.
ever met a red wine I didn't like.
There's only 2 types of wine. There's bad wine and wine that's not bad.
Yeah, indeed,
Maybe
indeed.
that's what I'll do on my next journey. I'll make wine.
All right, to keep us moving and on track. So when do you plan on opening?
The lease says, right now the lease is for January 1st. And Piccolo's planning on vacating in that same timeline. I think their last performance is mid-December. I'm in close contact with those folks. And we'll begin wholesale operations soon thereafter, build out, and retail hopefully spring, maybe summer of next year.
All right. Alderman Nguyen?
I just wanted to say, we had met and talked earlier when Mr. Clements first came with this idea, and I think that this is another terrific addition to our food and wine cultured city. And this one, I think, again, it's another really fun idea for people individually or in groups or with friends, and I think it's a terrific new option in the community.
Yeah.
And I think you'll do well.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's talked to many people, so congratulations. You
Thanks.
worked really hard to get to this point.
Thanks.
All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last item, A18. Alderman Holmes?
I just did say this.
Alderman Nguyen? A18.
Yes, wow, we're doing lots of booze tonight. The local liquor commissioner recommends the city council adopt ordinance 137-016, amending city code subsection 3-4-6 by creating a new class W liquor license. The city council in City of Evanston currently does not have an annual liquor license tailored to commercial indoor recreational facilities, allowing the sale of beer and wine for on-site consumption, and this does that. We have Bill Kindra and Randall Main, representatives for Quad Indoor Sports, approached the city requesting the addition of this new annual liquor license for commercial indoor recreational facilities. I move introduction.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any question, comments? Do we have the owners present? Would you like to?
Good evening. My name is Bill Kindra, one of the owners of Quad Indoor Sports. Questions?
Take 30 seconds and tell us about your business.
Sure. This is the new sports dome on Oakton Avenue, Oakton Street, and we feel like this is a piece of the business that would allow us to attract additional components in this industry, which a lot of other facilities in the area, not necessarily in Evanston, have. And it's a great facility, and it'll just help us even out the seasonality of this business throughout the year. We're not looking to be a destination to consume, but it would just be a simple amenity that we offer our customers.
What do you plan on doing for the food menu?
We have a full concession stand that is currently in the health department review. It's going to be typical, cafe, light sandwiches, pizza, hot dogs, sausages, popcorn.
Got it. Pretty straightforward. Congratulations. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of passing item A18, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes. Are there any items for discussion?
Nope, move adjournment.
All right, it's been moved. All those, second? It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the meeting is adjourned. For those of you that are paying attention, the City Council, our October 24th regular City Council meeting will begin at 7:10.